Hello, my name's Christopher, and today I'm going to show you how to install OneDev on CasaOS using BigBearCasaOS, a third-party app store. So, a little bit about this series, I'm going over home labs or installing things, getting things set up, everything like that. So, if you're interested in that, subscribe, comment, like, and support the channel, and let's get started. I wanted to let y'all know about the Big Bear community. We just launched a community on community.bigbeartechworld.com. It's based on discourse, so go on there, join it, and say hi. So let's get back to your registered programming. So this is who suggested me add OneDev to BigBearCasaOS. So thank you, Gia Army. I think that's how you pronounce that. So I apologize if that's not how you pronounce it. So I went ahead and I added it to BigBearCasaOS. So if you have suggestions on apps that I should add, please suggest them in BigBearCasaOS and BigBearCasaOS suggestions in the categories right here. So this is what will be installed today. A OneDev. It's a Git server with CI/CD, Kanban, and packages. Ultra easy to set up and maintain. It has some features down here. So out of the box symbol, search and navigation. And then code search with regular expression. Source/diff. And then a customizable issue state field with deep CI/CD integration. And then a service test to create and /discuss issues via email. A powerful and intuitive query language. A fully fledged CI/CD engine without writing YAML. And then a built-in Docker, NPM, Maven, NuGet, PyPy, Ruby gems registry. That's really nice. You can host your own Docker images. And then a flexible pull request review, policy reviewer suggestion, a lightweight review without pull request, a command palette to access features quickly, write markdown pleasantly with smart editor, and you can see trends by language. And then here's some Enterprise Edition features down here. So that's what we'll be installing today. So I'm going to start in BigBearCasaOS. There will be a link down in the YouTube description to get to this. This is a third-party CasaOS app store. It's maintained by Big Bear Tech World and the Big Bear community. It's got quite a few apps nowadays in it. And I did make a video on how to install BigBearCasaOS on CasaOS, but I'm going to be going over in this video as well. The custom app stores are only supported on CasaOS version 0.4.4 or newer. So I'm going to scroll up. So this app store URL right here, I'm going to copy it. Then I'm going to go over to my CasaOS and get this set up installed. So now I'm going to set up the app store. So I'm going to start my CasaOS. I'm going to go to App Store. Then I'm going to go to more apps over here. I'm going to paste in the app URL that we copied over in BigBearCasaOS. Then I'm going to press Add. Now we have 176 apps. So if you go over here, you can't see the category yet. So I'm going to refresh the page. Go back into the App Store. Go to Categories. Now you see BigBearCasaOS right here. So I'm going to click it. And now you can see all the apps that are available from BigBearCasaOS. So now I'm going to start on my BigBearCasaOS. There will be a link down in the YouTube description to get to this. I'm going to go to search over here. I'm going to type OneDev. Now I'm going to go to OneDev. Then I'm going to go to the Docker Compose. So the CasaOS app name is called BigBear OneDev. The services and then the first service underneath the services is called BigBear OneDev. That's the service name. And then the container name is going to be called BigBear OneDev, and this makes it to where Docker doesn't have to generate a random name for this container. And then the image is coming off of Docker by default because there's no URL before this. This is the Docker image. This is the Docker image tag. Restart unless stop. So that means if you stop it for any reason, it will not try to restart. But if it fails any other reason, then it will try to restart. And then I'm going to set volumes. So data, app data, dynamic variable, which is gotten from the name up here. And then data. This is on the host side. And then on the container side is opt OneDev. And then I'm going to mount the var run docker.sock and the var run docker.sock on the right. So the left is the host, the right is the container, and this gives this container access to the Docker engine. And then environment variables, so it's using the Hibernate library to connect to the DB. So it's also going to set up initial user. So the initial username is called BigBear. The password is password. And then the initial email is admin@example.com. The initial server URL, you'll change the local host to your CasaOS IP address. So that will be your LAN IP. So port mapping, so the left side is the host, the right side is the container. So 6610 on the host. If this does collide with another port on your host, you will get notified in the CasaOS UI, and then you can change it from there. And then on the container is 6610. Do not change the container side. And then 6611 is on the host. 6611 is on the container. So now this does depend on the BigBear OneDev DB service down here. And then the networks, I'm going to set it in its own network. So BigBear OneDev network. And the network's defined down the bottom. I'm going to set some CasaOS information to explain the volumes and the ports. And now I'm going to define the next service, and that will be BigBear OneDev DB. This is where the data is stored. So the container name is set to BigBear OneDev DB. This makes it to where Docker doesn't have to generate a random name. The image is coming off of Docker by default because there's no URL before this. Postgres is the Docker image. 14 is the Docker image tag. Restart unless stop. So that means if you stop it for any reason, it will not try to restart. But if it fails for any other reason, then it will try to restart. And then the environment variables. So Postgres user BigBear. And then the Postgres password. And then the Postgres DB. And this is the DB name is OneDev. So that would rhyme with these up here. So the connection URL right here. The BigBear OneDev DB. And that would rhyme with the service name. And then the port, the DB name, which rhymes down here. And then and now the connection username, BigBear, that would rhyme with the Postgres user. And then the connection password right here, that would rhyme with the Postgres password. So once this service is started and this container is running, you cannot change the environment variables anymore. So you will need to do that in SQL. And then volumes. So data, app data, dynamic variable, which is the app ID. It's gotten from the name up here. And then the Postgres underscore data. So this is on the host side, and then this is on the container. So var lib PostgreSQL data. I'm going to set it in the same network. So BigBear OneDev network. And then the CasaOS information to explain the environment variables and the volumes. And then I'm going to define the network. So it's a bridge network. And now I'm going to set the CasaOS specific information to explain in the App Store. So the architectures that the Docker image supports is AMD 64 and ARM 64, and this one up here. And then the main service rhymes with the BigBear OneDev up here. So right here. And then the description, the tagline, the developer of the Docker container and the software. And the author of the Docker Compose right here, and the icon that's used in the App Store, the thumbnail, the title, and the category is BigBearCasaOS. This makes it to where you can just click the category and find all the BigBearCasaOS apps. And then the port map is 6610. That rhymes with the host port up here of 6610. So that's a little bit about the Docker Compose. So I wanted to let you know about the BigBearClub. You can join it, and it greatly supports this channel, and I very much appreciate it. So if you'd like to join the BigBearClub, you can go down the YouTube description and go to my Ko-Fi link and join it from there. So let's get back to registered programming. So now I'm going to install OneDev on CasaOS. So I'm going to go to the App Store and type in the search OneDev. Now I'm going to go into it. I'm going to install. Now what this is doing is it's downloading the Docker images off the registry, getting them extracted, getting them up with Docker Impose underneath, because this does use the Docker engine to run. And it also is setting up the network and the volumes. So this can take a little bit of time to get complete. So we got it up and running and it's installed. So I'm going to go over the CasaOS UI, the app settings. So I'm going to go up here to the vertical dots. You can open in the web UI. You can set some tips. And then you can press the edit button and type in here. It's like a notepad. Then you press the save button. It reloads the container. Says OneDev is okay. Then you can go back into the tips. You can see it did save. You can go into settings and you can change some settings here. And you can also go in the terminal and logs. There we go. We're in the terminal. And then you can see logs right here. Great for debugging. You can export the Docker Impose here. So you can check for updates. You can uninstall, restart, and power off and on. So now I'm going to change the server URL. So I'm going to come to these vertical dots right here. I'm going to settings. Then I'm going to scroll down to initial server URL right here. I'm going to paste in the CasaOS LAN IP. And then now I'm going to save. Now it's reloading the container and redeploying. It can take a little bit to do. So, and now OneDev is okay, so it should be good to go. So now I'm going to show you that the UI works. So you can open from here, or you can go up here and open it. So I'm going to click it, and then now you're going to type your initial user in. So that will be admin@example.com, and then the password is password. And then now I'm going to sign in. So, and now we're signed in. So you can go up to the top right and you can change your profile. You can add email addresses and remove them, and then edit avatar. You can change your password, which I recommend doing, and then SSH keys, GPG keys, and then access tokens, and then sign out. So if you go up to profile, you can change your login name and your full name. Then you can change your email addresses and edit your avatar. And then you can go over here to the bar over here, and you can go to projects. You can add your first project with clicking the plus button. Now I'm going to say testing. So you can turn on code management, issue management, and package management. You can't turn on time tracking because this is not an enterprise version. Now you can just say create. So now we have our first project. So you can go back to projects and see your first project. There we go. And you can go into it. So you can see your commits. You can see your branches, your tags, the code comments, and then you can actually compare branches and tags. There we go. And you can see your pull request, the issues, a list. So you can add your first issue right here, but by clicking the plus button. Now you can add a issue, and then you can say a milestone, the type of issue, like a bug, the priority, and you can assign people to it. So I'm going to say save. So now we have our first issue. You can add a comment in it. You can also go to the boards over here and you can move it to closed and then open. You can see your milestones and you can add one. You can see your builds, the packages. So you can have your own Docker container registry, then a Docker login, and then push npm, Maven, NuGet, PyPy, and then Ruby gems. You can see your statistics over here. So there's no data right now. And then your child projects, the settings. You can also see your administration right here. There's a lot of options. So that's a little bit about OneDev's UI. So I just went over step by step on getting OneDev working on CasaOS using BigBearCasaOS. So if you like this tutorial, subscribe, comment, like, and support the channel. And if you have any video suggestions or you need community support, you can go to the Big Bear community and join our forum. There's a link in the YouTube description. So stay tuned for more.